This is a story from my foolish early 20s. At that time, I was really into ghost haunting. I had a best friend named Joshua, and we always went to supposedly haunted places. Then one day we decided to visit a hotel that was painless for being haunted. There was nothing special about the hotel, other than the fact that it was a slightly odd-looking building that an eerie music playing in the lobby. We entered the haunted room while singing a song that was supposed to summon ghosts. I was reading an article about the place on my cell phone posted on a ghost haunting community. They say there are 3 rules that must be followed, and room 7 of bar first. Never allow food. Smells to be present in the room. Second, always wear clothes. In the room. Third, never leave the closet in the living room. Open for more than 1 minute. When Joshua asked what happens if you don't follow those rules, my answer it says, your intestines will be pulled out. And I hope to their horrible monster hiding in here. Then he swung open the closet door in the living room. It was empty but out of bounds, smell blogging his nose, he said. Someone must have pooped here before then, as he closed the closet door. He continued, I'm hungry. Let's have some food and start hunting ghosts. He called room service on the phone. However, the staff said the room service was not available for this room. He got angry and complained to the staff, who eventually offered to bring him food. But the staff told him that he had to finish eating within 10 minutes and put the dishes out in the hallway. So our steaks and hamburgers arrived in. We started a chow down while looking for traces of the ghost, while we were using the electromagnetic wave meter, the claws. That daughter suddenly burst open. We looked at the closet in shock, and at that moment, we saw something that would haunt us forever. It was a strange creature, that lot, like the heads and arms of about 7 people stuck together. It had no legs, and the many hands and arms owned several protest manner. The forearms and head were extremely large in the faces, whereas pale and expressionless as corpses, a crowd to our food, and started eating the left or stamp. I tried to film with my camera, that the camera could encounter. The being, in an instant went back into the closet and closed the door. When I saw it, I was filled with fear and I said, the Joshua. I have to get home before that master gets hungry again. Then he said, what are you talking about? You can't. Just leave after seeing something sexy like that. Then he ran in pounds, shouting a monster. Try this, Joe. He threw off his t-shirt and patted his bulging stomach. Do you want to try human me to look at this plump get? He opened the closet door. Rate was empty. I chuckled at him with the flame of beer was still burning in his chest. We watched TV hundered around. Been in soon, fell asleep. But after a while I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of a scream. And when I looked in the direction of the south, I saw the huge. Sitting on top of Joshua, pinning his arms and legs, known while sniffing his stomach. In his numerous hands, tearing a Joshua stoic, I wondered if I was dreaming. The Josh was loud, screams pierced my ears. I'll give you something as boy. It wasn't a dream, I screamed Joshua. Like I did that huge thing as hard as I could, but it didn't budge and pull my leg. Linux squirmed. Its heads around in an attempt to bite my stomach, but I barely escaped by kicking at the headlight. Racing, my legs were shaking so hard that I fell to the floor. The being looked at me and started eating Joshua. His intestines. Joshua mumbled breathlessly. Lewis, I should have just gone on a call to the hotel lobby and out of breath. Spoke to the staff now in the room. In the room my friend is being here. The employee asked me when I was talking about. Shouted quickly, grabbed a knife, a gun, or anything and get our bear. I hung up and ran back to Joshua. The giant bin laughed gleefully as it chewed his intestines, kicked out the Bible from the drawer and recited some verses out loud with the being did not respond. On and continued to me, there was nothing I could do. I cried out in despair and fear. Right then a hotel employee and as soon as he came in, silence all the gruesome scene. Wagner. The gigantic being had already disappeared. bloodstains stretched from the bed to the closet. The employee immediately reported it to the police when the police arrived. They were distressed. To find Josh was intestines missing, without a trace. The police officers just stood there, dumbfounded, and kept repeating that this couldn't be happening. A few days later, I went back to the hotel room to see the manager, who yelled at me. "Your friend got it. It doesn't even make..." I shouted at him. "You already knew what could happen." Then he sighed and said, "Man, as long as we play dumb animal intestines once a day, there were no problems. That room is the most expensive room, so it would be a waste to leave it empty. But you provoked them." I told him, "Okay, it must be hard for you to keep reading that bastard, but I'll take this opportunity to get rid of it for you. To just wait a minute." I went back angry, and for the next 6 months, I trained learning deadly martial arts. Then, I went back to the hotel room to avenge Joshua, to tend that monster apart. I backed up a bunch of sharp weapons, and when I stand out a bunch of pig intestines in front of the closet and shouted, owning a dagger in each hand, "Guys, quality pork has arrived." After a while, I heard the closet door open and saw that gigantic being. It began to easily care and to the pig intestines in front. But among the many faces that ride around, it's boring. I saw one familiar face that was Joshua.